Hello and welcome back to Sharks Happen. On today's single attack episode, we are going to go to Maine, 2020, for Julie Holowach's attack by a great white shark. It was the first shark attack fatality in Maine on record, and we will go over that one next. Stick around. On Monday, July 27th of 2020, Julie Holowach, 63 years old, she and her daughter had decided to go out for a swim. It's a nice afternoon, it's hot, 88 degrees, the water temperature is 73 degrees, and they are out taking their swim. Julie is in a wetsuit and her daughter is not. They're in Mackerel Cove, which goes deep into Bailey Island. So they're in Bailey Island, which is in Maine. And they're out taking their swim. It's just before 3:30. There's a couple witnesses around. People have been seeing them out there swimming, hearing them laughing and talking. And about 3:30, just before 3:30, the first witness, Tom White, says he looked out towards them and saw that Julie, who was behind her daughter, pulled under the water. Not sink under the water. She was pulled under the water is what he saw. Now there's another witness, Steve Arnold. He is in a different area. He looks over at the same situation and he saw Julie be lifted up out of the water about 12 to 18 inches, foot and a half, and then pulled under the water. So both saw different things. And I believe there was a third witness that was watching through binoculars, and he had said that he saw that the two were swimming along and that the daughter ended up being about 5 yards ahead of her mother at the time, and the mother was stopped and pulled under the water, and then he watched the daughter swim back over towards the mother and then suddenly swim to shore, climb onto the shore, fall to her knees screaming for help. There was a couple more witnesses. It was Charlie Wemyss Dunn. His wife had seen the attack, so she witnessed it. She told her husband Charlie and his mother took their kayak out there, and they said they were there very fast after the attack with the kayak to help out Julie in the water. They said that they tried to hold Julie's head up out of the water with a paddle while Charlie's mother held Julie's hand while they gently pulled her to shore. They get her into shore, and there's a couple people up on the rocks, and they grab her arms and they pull her up onto the rocks, and the paramedics take over after that. But it sounds like Julie had already passed away. I think she was gone when they reached her, shortly after they reached her, but haven't heard definitive word on that. As far as it goes, I don't know that the daughter or any of the witnesses that were in the kayak had spoken about what they saw. I haven't been able to find any descriptions of the wounds to the body, although, they said that when they pulled up it was devastating, blood all over the water, and it sounds like she was almost bitten in half by the shark. Doesn't sound like it lifted her up out of the water very much, that same unnaturally high out of the water and then down in. But you never know if these people all saw after the fact or not. It's hard to put all those pieces together. We have this down in our stats as an attack, an attempt to predate, a fatality by a 15-foot great white shark. And we're going to keep all that the same because that kayak got out there fast. If that kayak hadn't got out there and they were able to recover the remains, then it would have gone down as not an attempt to predate. They also, the day before, noticed that there was a seal on one of the islands that the seals hang out there. The seal had a 19-inch bite to its body, but a bad great white shark bite, but it had survived. And this leads into my theory on the great white shark and why they occasionally eat people. And it's got nothing to do with wanting to eat people, and they just have to. And it's possible this shark was the one that missed this seal, and he was on a bad string. These seals, 50% of the time, they get away from all those senses the shark has, and 50% of the time, them seals are able to avoid them. So you get a shark, a large shark that's been avoided a few times in a row, can't find a fish, it's going to find the easiest thing to eat. And I think that they know where to go look for that near shore. And that's why it went after Julie as it did. A lot of people think that it's because of the wetsuit. I don't think this shark was mistaken identity. It was an intentional bite, no accidental bite, and it doesn't seem like it was territorial. It seems like it was out to feed. Without having all the information, it's hard to say, but we're going to keep it like that until we go there, until we get that information. Now, they also, in reaction to this over in Maine, they put sensors on the beach, and they're receivers. They're high-tech receivers, and they stand about 2 feet up out of the water. The receiver head looks like something like a rover, a Mars rover. It's got 3 solar panels or more on top. It keeps it charged and working all throughout the 24 hours, so you don't have to power them up and change batteries. And so they have them in the water. The receiver stands above the water, and I believe it's 300 yards is the range. And it's real time, which none of the ones are right now. The ones they have out along the shores before these ones in Maine, the researchers would have to go download the data from them and take it back and look at the data. Well, now, real time, this is going to send out the signal to authorities, researchers, and also lifeguards. They're going to have something on them, and they're going to be notified when a ping happens that says that a great white shark is within 300 yards of the shore, and they can get their people out of the water. So it's a nice, non-invasive way to be able to protect people close to shore, allow them to do the things they want to do and not harm marine life in the process. I think these are, you know, they're expensive, I'm sure, and you have to tag a lot of sharks, I'm sure, but if you want to use the water and you don't want to be killing sharks and you don't want sharks to be biting people, something like this is going to have to be done, and it's going to have to be expensive. And once it's up and everybody is using it, well, just like anything that's being used all the time, the prices drop for production and everything down the line, and all of a sudden you got people protected and sharks protected, at least near shore. There's nothing we can do for the people that are out there. I mean, if you're an abalone diver, you know, when I go into businesses, I want to have everything I need when I do it. And if I was an abalone diver, one of my needs would be one of those mobile cages. I don't care what the price of those things are. That would be something that would be a requirement for me to do the job. Same type of thing here. If you get these kind of things out there, then you're protecting everybody near shore, surfers, swimmers alike. And you know, the more you go ahead and try to do these types of things, the more that we're going to have some success somewhere. This is a lot better than magnets. I've seen the magnets that they try to make look like kelp and trying to keep them away like that. These magnetic fields are not going to do nothing to a large shark. They probably get their magnetic fields messed with all the time swimming around. There's all kinds of steel in the water, and that's sending off an electric field. I don't think it keeps them from shipwrecks. That's going to have an electric field. So I'm not too into magnets, but something like this where they're letting you know, hey, there's a shark right by your waters. Get your people out of the water. It's a no-brainer. No, not everybody's going to listen. I think there's some surfers wouldn't care. They just keep surfing. They know that they're out there. But most people are going to get out of the water, and it's a good thing to do. So, terrible attack, terrible situation, but maybe something positive comes out of it for both the sharks and the people. That's the show for today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you'll be back in a couple more days, but until then, if you go into that water, you are much more afraid of those sharks than they are of you.